Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the color commentary for the tracks identification video we have here. Hope you've enjoyed looking at some rubber molds. The rubber molds for both scat and track are one of the most popular things we have when we do bones and fur classes here with various groups. It's just something very tactical for people to look at. So as you look at some of these tracks, they definitely have seen some wear and tear, but that means they've impacted hundreds, if not thousands, of people. So the reality about track and scat identification is there are countless amounts of resources available out there for you to find, whether it be free. New York Conservationist Magazine always has stuff like this inside there, even little guides. Lots of different things you can find. So, if you want to learn more about tracks, it's very easy to do so. Red Fox. I see more of these at the golf course than I do in the wild, and it seems to be a population that rises and falls pretty quickly. The bald eagle, big birds, see them more frequently now than ever before in my life. It's not uncommon to see at least one or two of these a year flying over Oswegatchie. Bear, yes. Don't see a lot of bear on Oswegatchie, but every spring we're having occurrences where they're either messing with a dumpster or a barbecue grill in front of someone's house or whatever. In the bottom right-hand corner there, you could see that was a trail camera shot that we had from September on Loons Trail. Crows. Growing up, I didn't remember crows being that common. And I know in some of our areas around the state and some of the cities we're having a crow problem, but we have a lot of crows around Oswegatchie these days. White-tailed deer, quite obvious. We have a lot of those here in New York State. Very interesting species. If you like watching wildlife, deer are so prevalent everywhere. And that success is because of their generalist status. Snapping turtles. Now, most people have not seen a snapping turtle track. Most people have not seen the bottom of a snapping turtle foot in their life for obvious reasons. And I want to put it out there, too. Snapping turtles are supposed to be a slow creature because they're turtles. They're not that slow of a creature. Snowshoe hare. A couple years ago here at camp, we had at least what I'd call two different warrens of snowshoe hares or rabbits living on the property here. But as times changed, the population seemed to have disappeared. So, duck. Obviously, if you got water, you're probably going to have ducks eventually. Otters. Now, the first time I ever saw an otter at Oswegatchie is when Todd Lighthall and Roger Bartman and I canoed up the river above Trout Falls. And on our way up, we saw a bald eagle and a river otter right in the river. Usually I see these guys in the springtime. Frogs, see lots of frogs at Oswegatchie, especially in the water vegetation between the old boathouse and the new boathouse, where it's kind of wet, grassy, and swampy there. Possums? Possums, yes. Prime example of nature's ugliest critter, but they eat a lot of ticks and they have a lot of other benefits. So, is one of those critters you cannot underestimate the value in your ecosystem. Raccoons. Saw an awesome raccoon trail camera shot. Didn't have that picture on this device to transplant it into this video, but raccoons, they're around. You might not see them. The other night I was outside and I shined a light up into a tree and two little orange lights were looking back at me. It was the eyes of a raccoon. Just a little guy. Coyotes. Great quote I heard reading this book, Coyote America by Dan Flores. A very good read. I do recommend it to everybody. So coyotes will make a liar out of you every time. So if you have a theory or belief about coyotes, eventually they will prove you incorrect. Beavers. Right now we have one very large beaver dam on the river just past Mills Campsite before we get to Rock Pond. The dam itself is probably 4 foot tall. In between the river at Rock Pond and the Buckhorn Bridge, there's a couple more giant dams on our river, right? River, excuse me. Squirrels. Oswegatchie has more squirrels than we need. So if anybody wants to come and take some home with you, you can. We're talking red squirrels, little guys, much different than the blacks and grays you may see in town. And of course, the porcupine, another critter that just loves the forest. You know, growing up, I saw porcupines all the time back in Antwerp, New York, but nowadays here in Krogan, I rarely see porcupines. The great thing about track ID, folks, is it's just really about going outside. You know, scat is the wayside of the forest. Scat usually is around for a lot longer than animal tracks. Animal tracks, you know, if you wanna learn about them, it's an endless science. I do recommend the guy named Tom Brown Jr. and his got a field guide for observational skills. It's not about tracking; it's about how to observe. Probably more important than knowing the logistics of every type of critter out there. So. You got to learn to see before you can learn to track. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. Have a great day.